What about this lawsuit, Jesse?
First of all, how am I supposed to follow the moon landing? I mean, wait, what a lead up that is. But anyway.
I was going to say we're going to have to cut this segment a little short because we just landed on the moon.
Totally
blame
fine.
the smart people, not me.
Totally fine. So let's talk about this lawsuit. So the truth is, you might agree with this lawsuit. You might think it's the right thing. It makes sense. I don't know if it has a lot of legal standing. And when I say that is they're basically saying that there was an implied contract between Harvard and the alumni and their students, and that Harvard violated the contract by not upholding their standards. That is very subjective to say that they violated and there was a contract there, and they're saying that Harvard had violated their duty to deal in good faith. Courts around the country have been not very clear about what that means. It's been all over the place. So while I understand the motivation for this lawsuit, I looked at it and I'm not sure they have the legal standing that'll actually be successful in a court.
Why were you were shaking your head?
Well, who's not going to want their kids to go to Harvard right now? I'm in the process of trying to get my daughter into college.
It's still one of the top institutions in the world.
Yeah,
like, let's not pretend that that's not the case.
The biggest losers who ever went to Harvard putting a lawsuit in because they didn't succeed.
So here's what I think firms in the world are still recruiting from Harvard as their top university. This is completely frivolous.
So here's what I think is fair. I think there are students and parents of students, if they get into Harvard, they say, I just got into Harvard, I'm going. But there's also some who are...
Nobody.
Who are those?
Anybody,
you are lucky enough to get into Harvard.
Anybody who says they are not going to send their kids to Harvard, they should not be sending their kids to college.
You're talking about the brand versus the value of the diploma. And college diplomas everywhere are plummeting. I will say this. If Jesse's... Wait, hold on. If Jesse's wrong, okay, and they actually do have standing and the plaintiffs win, Northwestern, Cornell, they're going to be in deep trouble for the same thing.
So Mulvaney is a Harvard grad. Mick, do you think they're onto something here or no?
A couple things. I want to give more thought to what Jesse said, but I think he may be right. There's going to be a difficult connection to be made here, but it's not to Chris's point, it's not whether or not you're going to send your kids to Harvard. Keep in mind, a lot of kids that get into Harvard are also getting into Stanford and MIT and Penn and those types of places. So it's a relative sort of valuation. So that's not the end of the conversation. If your kid gets into Harvard, that there are specific allegations in the lawsuit that law firms had stopped recruiting at Harvard, that people had been, folks had been turning down job offers had been withdrawn. So there are some specific allegations. But I think Jesse may be right. It may be tough to make the connection between those specifics and a legal duty that would actually give rise to damages.
So Jesse, you seem doubtful of this. Is the judge just going to toss this, or is there actually going to be a case here?
I mean, remember, with these lawsuits, you have to get past that initial stage. And if this is just strictly a contract claim, I could see a judge saying, you claim that Harvard violated some sort of contract that they had with you to uphold their standards. Harvard would say, they're keep doing, yeah, maybe you don't disagree, maybe you don't agree with what they're doing, but they didn't really violate any duty that they owed to you. So I think that again, I think it's a stretch, but I completely understand the motivations behind it.
All right.
Nobody calls it the Penn of this or the Cornell of that. You do not have to explain Harvard to anyone. They know what it is.
Jesse Weber.
That's why it will never be bad.
NewsNation legal contributor. We'll catch you next time there's a moon landing. Thank you, Jesse. No, I'm joking. We'll talk to you soon. Legal. Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.